Alright gang, welcome back to our Pioneer Challenge on Alone in the World. Today you can see I have been very busy this morning. I've cut down pretty much every tree we had over in this little section that we started with. Now it was definitely the smaller section of our wooded lots that we had. And most of what you see here, with the exception I think maybe 2 or 3 of them, I cannot cut down. They're out of our limit of our actual land that we own. So, yeah, that pretty much does it, with the exception of a few of them. Now, you could probably notice the 2 specifically that we probably would be able to cut down. They're kind of off by themselves in comparison to everything else. And I didn't cut those down for one reason or another. I can cut them down, and we might eventually, well, it's not even might, we probably will eventually, but I'm going to leave them be for now. They're not as straight as these other trees that we normally cut down, and these are just a little bit easier to maneuver and especially winch down here. So I'll save those trees for whenever the time comes that we potentially do wood chips and get a tree devour or something to do wood chips on potentially. But we'll see. Regardless, a lot of trees, I've already sold a little bit, but most of them, as you can see, the bulk of them are all down here. Now there are a few of them here, these skinnier ones here at the end, that absolutely I could cut again and probably, you know, get a smaller amount to add to it, but it's so small when I cut them that it's really not even going to make a difference. So we're just going to leave them be like that, and we're going to sell them. So let's see what we get here. I'm hoping again, I don't know for sure if it's going to happen or not, but I'm hoping again for like that 18,000, 19,000 we got before. Yeah, 18,447. Good. So we're back up to $32,483, which is fantastic. We have a lot of other trees we probably need to take care of on the farm here that are kind of just out in the middle of the open that we're eventually going to turn into, you know, fields, right? They're eventually going to be fields, or there's going to be a production, or there's going to be something there at some point. So we kind of got to keep an eye on those. And by keep an eye on them, I mean figure out which ones we want to maybe keep and which ones we want to get rid of. Probably most of them. You can see pretty much where we were cutting the trees there. And then all these over here pretty much are ours to cut down whenever we want, if we want to cut them down, right? So I don't want to cut down all the trees. That's the main reason why we haven't started on cutting these trees down, because those are all good-sized trees and they're good to sell, but I don't want to cut them all down. Now, the only other thing we didn't do at the end of the last episode, and I kind of wish I would have probably done a little bit more, but it took a long time for me to pick up all of the grass off the ground and put it into the silo here, and we had to obviously, you know, roll it down or whatever you want to call it. But we've got a bunch of, let me get over here. Let me get to the right thing here. We've got a bunch of silage in here. It's 32% at current fermenting. Now we're going to have to get some kind of bucket. I mean, we could use the same loading wagon. It's going to be a ton of trips back and forth. I don't know if we're going to have, I think we might have to just run it that way, unfortunately, until we get some more money going. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be really difficult. Now, the other thing we can do is put down some cows, right? That's one of our goals here, is we have to get another animal. So cows probably make the most sense since we have a bunch of silage. Just do a small cow pen. Nothing crazy. We're not going to do a big, massive one like we have been doing. Won't even be an open air one or anything like that. We'll just get one that maybe can hold 10, 15, 20 cows, something like that, where it's a little bit more reasonable, a little bit easier for us to manage, right? But that's kind of where we're at here. Now, we will take a look at the used market, as I always do. I just want to make sure there's nothing out there for us. There probably isn't. But you can see I got all the grass up off the ground here. So we've got all this room here to turn into field or fields, plural, depending on what we want to do. Now, the biggest problem we're dealing with right now is power. This tractor has a good amount of power. It's great. But our cultivator is very small. 2.5 meters is not a very big width. It's going to take a long time to make fields, right? A very long time. We realistically need to get more horsepower somehow, one way or another. But we really can't get rid of this tractor because we need it for the grapes, right? And I bought that other tractor in the last episode, and it's very small. It doesn't even have as much horsepower as this does. So there's a lot of things that we have to accomplish here, and we really don't have the money for it, which means we need to get rid of more trees, right? Or we just kind of start with where we're at, and we just go from there. We need to get something in the ground. It's been 2 episodes now. We haven't got a single thing in the ground. We do have the silage, like I said, going, but, I mean, that's not going to be ready until the next episode at the earliest. So, we expanded this field once already. I think I'm going to expand it again. I think this is where we're going to start at, is on this field. Just make this field bigger, since it already has a, we already have something in here. That way we can go buy a drill, get something in the field, and then we can start working on, over there where we did the grass in the last episode, a bigger, area, right? I guess that's kind of where I'm at with this one. I'm afraid that right now I'm going to be getting into Jester's area here, though. I'm not going to go any further than that. It's not a big expansion over here, but we're going to expand it that way and probably out that way. Now, I know I could mow this grass and, pick it up, right? But we've already put a tarp on the silage there, so there's no reason to mow it right now. Even though we could get a little extra money out of it, there's really no reason to do it since we've already tarped the silage pit. And really, we probably couldn't put a whole lot more silage in, or a whole lot more grass in there anyway, even if we wanted to, because we don't really have big enough machinery to manage getting the silage out of there. It's already in there pretty high. It's pretty high up off the ground, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. It took me a long time. I actually ended up having to utilize the Grape Harvester to help smash down all the grass. Help turn it into chaff, or whatever you want to call it, right? You have to keep compacting it, right? You had to keep compacting it down, and that's what I ended up having to do. It wasn't really working with this tractor. It was bouncing all over the place. It was getting stuck. I almost flipped it a couple of times, so I went to the Grape Harvester, and it seemed to work fine. It took a little longer, but it seemed to work fine. I really had no issues, so I think that's going to be our compactor, I guess, for a while until we find something better, or a bigger tractor, or a bigger piece of equipment, right? Really unfortunate in the last episode, though, that loading wagon that we got in the used market was not sufficient. It sucks. That was going to be great. That was going to help me out tremendously, and that's the main reason why I had made that field so big to begin with. I would have never made that field or mowed that much grass to begin with if I didn't know that was out there, right? I really didn't think there was going to be an issue. So it's too bad, but it is what it is. We've moved on now. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully you're all doing well. This tractor's going to need some gas here in the near future, so we got to keep an eye on that. But yeah, if we just expand this field out just a little bit more like we're doing, I think this is going to be a good start for us, since it's already, partially plowed up already. So I think that's what we'll at least aim or plan to do, is buy a drill. Now, it's probably going to be the drill that everybody always uses, myself included. It doesn't really make sense to not use that one, right? One of the Case or the John Deere it's like 6 meters wide or whatever it is. It's such a great width, and it's inexpensive, and it does both fertilizer and seed at the same time. So it's just a no-brainer, especially starting out on the series like this. So we probably will do that unless something else is, out there better for us for some reason, but I would highly doubt it. Now, don't hold me too much. You guys know I like perfectly square fields here, and this is not a perfectly square field, but well, we're going to leave it be for now. I'm going to fix this a little bit down here, even though I think I'm going to be cutting into Jester's land here. I'm going to try to make it a little bit better than it was. That's a little bit better. We'll go with it. We'll go with it for now. So the other thing we're going to do is we're going to expand it out this way a little bit further towards this tree over here. This tiny little tree. Now, I could get rid of the tree right now, and maybe we will eventually, but I'm going to leave it be for now, just because I want to actually see, what this field looks like, right? Once we get it kind of outlined a little bit more, we expand it out a little bit more, get it outlined a little bit better, then maybe we'll have a better idea of if we want to get rid of that tree or keep the tree. Now, the problem is, well, you've seen it when we were doing the grass work. There is a bit of a steep drop here to the left of me by this tree line. So this is not the straightest field I've ever made here. This is a terrible. Look at it this way. I try to get do a better job here. Like I said, I don't want to make this outrageously large, but I do want to make it much larger than it currently is. I mean, this is going to be a pretty big field right here. Let's stop it there. I don't know. I mean, really, I probably should go all the way to the Yanks. There's not much left, but we're going to stop it there for now. Cut back over. Because if I go any more than that, I think at this point it's just, I mean, it's going to be a 45 minutes of doing nothing but just plowing this field up. Or cultivating this field up. Alright, somewhere around... We're going to, okay, that's good, even though I think that's a little bit too far, but we're going to go with it. It's close. It's close. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. We'll go with it. This is a lot. This is going to be a lot to work through here, so we're going to get this done. Even though this is kind of jumping into a time-lapse here pretty quickly. Actually, it's not that bad. I didn't realize I was talking to you for that long. We'll jump into a bit of a time-lapse here. We're going to get it done. It's going to take a while. And then we'll look to buy a drill, and then we'll drill this thing. Now, the drilling should, in theory, not take anywhere near the time that this is going to take. This is going to take a while because we're only 2.5 meters in width. And that drill is going to be at least 3 times, probably, the size of the, well, around 3 times the size of this width, right? Actually, as a matter of fact, let's go look here. The drill that I want, ones we always use, they are 5.2 meters, so not even as much as I was saying. Ignore me. Well, let's look at the used market. Ooh. That tractor is nice. But do we really need another tractor? Do we need to spend the money on that? Not really, right? I mean, I guess I could sell the tractor we just bought, even though I said we probably wouldn't sell it. I guess I could sell that one, but even so, I think that's only going to give us like $7,000. It's not much, because it's not a big, yeah, about $7,000. So, I mean, 13 grand for it. I don't know. I'll look at it a little bit more here in a minute, I guess, but yeah, let's get this field done first, and then we'll get a drill, and we'll get all that stuff, and then we'll maybe make a decision. I don't see any reason really to buy it, but maybe I can convince myself that it's better for the farm than the little tiny Massey Ferguson we got. I don't know. I'll think about it. All right, that is a nice, big, large-sized field there. I'm happy with that, so we're going to go with that. I expanded it even a little bit more, as you saw, but I'm happy with that, so we're going to stick with that one for now. Now, let me make sure I turned this off. I did. Okay, good. I don't want to drop it down here and create a field right here. That would be awful. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to head up to the shop, and we're going to buy a drill. I don't know if I'm going to get the case or the John Deere. I don't know. Probably the case, honestly, because I believe we're still utilizing the John Deere and the Mazzo challenge. So, probably the case, and fill it up with some seed and some fertilizer, and we're going to bring it on back up here, and we're going to get to drilling. Now we're back here. I'm looking around trying to find the gas station. I don't know where the gas station is on this thing. Is that it? That might be it. Looks like air. I don't think that's the gas. Well, I guess it is the gas station. Well, I'm near the gas station one way or another. Alright, fill it back up. Alright, we got the case. Also bought a bag of fertilizer and seed. Now, we're going to leave these here. Till we can bring back the other tractor, maybe, and then we can bring them back up to the farm, possibly. That, or we'll just have to make trips back and forth here to fill this back up. But hopefully, this will be enough seed and fertilizer to get that field done. But if it's not, like I said, we'll make the trip. All right, back up here, gang. We're throwing in some wheat because we want to start our process of making flour. We've got that that production up there just sitting, waiting to be utilized. So we're going to start with doing the flour. This is exciting. Now we have to sell, if we remember our rules here. Let me pull them back up so I don't say it incorrectly to you. Our stage 1 goals, we have to buy 2 more of each, animal pens and storage sheds. Okay, we've got to pay off our debt, which is going to be the big one, and then sell 25,000 liters of flour, or 25,000 liters of flour. So, getting some wheat in here so we can start making flour, gonna be good for us. Exactly what we want. And it really shouldn't take too long to do this field, all things considered. It's a big field, absolutely, but I mean, we didn't do the whole thing, but we just cultivated probably 1/3 of the field, and it took us, not too long. Well, actually, it took us less than I was expecting to take. So this should be a much faster pace for us, and we're going 11 miles per hour as well, so definitely going to help. So we're going to go around the headland here like I normally do. I know I did 2 passes there. That wasn't really the headland, but we're going to do it now because we've got that tree that's going to be an issue right here. I don't really necessarily want to get rid of that tree, though. At least not yet. Like I said, I want to keep some of the trees because I really want to kind of leave them there until I have, my vision for the rest of the farm, right? We're just starting out here, right? And so things are going to change. I'm going to have different ideas once I see something, once I put something down, I place something down, I'm going to have other visions of how to expand that area or how to build up that area, right? Or, once I get more fields actually put into the ground here, we'll have a better idea of some space and areas that we might want to put something. So for this one, unlike what I typically do, I want to try to put things kind of in different areas, similar to how I have the grain mills up there, right? It's kind of a little bit, it's not far, but it's a ways away from our main yard, right? I kind of want to do that for any of the productions. I don't want to just put them right next to the yard. Now, I'm not saying that there won't ever be something that's right next to the yard. There probably will be. But you get what I mean, especially if if we have the money to do so. I mean, I want to build some tracks similar to what I did up there, for other things, right? Just try to look slightly more realistic, where you've got things just kind of in different areas on the farm, instead of all just bunched up, grouped together. Again, that just adds to, you know, the playthrough, right? Something different than what we typically have on the farm at current, or even on the channel at current, right? Most of my other series, for the most part, they have, I mean, a few of them have some stuff spread apart, but most of it is all kind of, for the most part, clumped together. I don't know. Maybe what I'm saying doesn't really make sense. It makes sense in my mind, but maybe I'm not expressing it as clear as I should be, but eventually you'll see what I'm talking about, I guess is what we'll get as to how we're going to put it. Eventually you will see what I'm talking about. There's Jester's out here watching what I'm doing. He's checking out what I'm doing. He's hanging around. Yeah, I'm thinking, based off of how much we've used so far, we may have to fill this back up again. We're at 73% seed so far, and we're not even close to halfway, so it'll be close probably. We'll be cutting it close, I would think. It'll be real close to running out of seed if we don't run out of seed by the time we're done with this field. Once I'm done with this pass up here, we'll start going our more traditional way here. Well, I guess it really doesn't matter. This field is so large, really. I mean, both ways, I guess, could be considered the traditional way, but I'm going to go the way I started, I guess, going that way. Now, I don't really like putting time lapses back to back. It's so close together. Most of the time I try to keep my time lapses just to kind of one per episode if I can help it. It doesn't always work that way, certainly, but I think it if I can, you know, find things to do, it works better to have one big time lapse and then the rest of it me talking to you, explaining things, going through things, adding things, whatever. But we're starting out, you know, on this series. We don't have a whole lot to do with the exception of you know, just getting stuff done, right? That's really what we have to do here, what we have to accomplish. I just missed a bit there. So when you're starting out, unfortunately, there's less to do, so you just have to kind of get some time lapses going so you can actually get some stuff in the ground and get moving here. So that's what we'll do, gang. We'll throw another time lapse in here. We'll get this done. It should be a shorter time lapse. There's not much to do here. It'll probably be time lapse wise 2 minutes, maybe less. I don't know, somewhere around there, I would think. And we'll be done, and we're back with you. And then we're probably going to look. We're not going to buy any cows yet, but we'll probably look at putting down some kind of cow enclosure for the future when the silage is ready. Just think that makes the most sense. We have so much silage there. We can buy cows, and we can buy the cows that are ready, where you don't have to actually worry about, you know, any of the prerequisites. I can just give them TMR, right? Because we could just get the hay from the straw from the ground of this wheat field, right, when we're done harvesting it, and we can get the hay, the hay from the grass fields that we have plethora of grass around us, right? So those are easy things to do. Like I said, the cows aren't going to be coming for quite a while, even then when that's ready, they won't be coming because we have to wait for this field to be ready to harvest so we can get some straw. But yeah, I think that might be the approach, right, is to at least get some things placed down that we know we're going to need. And then that way, when we're carrying on here, we don't have to worry about, you know, money as much. I'm not going to buy a harvester yet, but we need to think about the harvester too. I showed you the harvester before, right? The smaller harvester, and that's probably the one we're going to end up taking, but who knows? Maybe we'll get lucky when it's time to harvest the grapes. Maybe we'll get a good amount of money out of the grapes. Maybe we'll find a production for the grapes. Who knows? Or maybe we'll just find something in the used market, right? You never know. Let's get this done. Well, we made it. Only just, like I said, 92 liters left of seed in there, so we only just made it, but we did make it nonetheless. So let's go put this away. We really can't put it in the barn. It's too wide to fit into there, so... but we can at least set it over here to the side like we've been doing with everything else. Just kind of creating our own little outdoor yard here, right? At least temporarily for now. That'll work. So let's go put this away, and I'm going to go off camera for a minute. I'm going to take a look at our options for a small cow enclosure and or a shed of some sort, so we can start working towards some of those goals that we have to knock off, right? 2 more animal pens and 2 storage sheds. That's really our goal here. We shouldn't, I mean, we could spend some of this money to pay off the loan, but I don't think that's the approach right now. So let me go off camera. Let me see what I can find here. All right, gang, we've bought some stuff here. As you can see, I bought a shed, open air on one side. Real nice, old school, it's like an old school European style shed. I love the stone and everything. So we're going to go with that. Pretty big, honestly. It's huge, honestly. And we also did not buy cows. I need to do some more research on cows. But we did buy a chicken coop. So those are what we're going to add in today's episode. Spent a little bit of money, as you can see. We're down to 11,000, but at least we still have some money, right? We could have spent a lot more, but I'm happy with where we ended up with. I'm gonna, do some small work here. Try to make it look slightly realistic with all the rest of the partial grass showing, right, through the dirt. Something like that. Maybe remove a few more. There's a little bit too much grass, I think, in there. Perfect. We're going to go with that. And then we can put some stuff away now. Stuff that would not necessarily fit into our closed barn. Because the doors are too small. We can now fit into this, which is nice. So we've got 2 things that we have to accomplish in stage 1 done in episode 3. Really cannot complain about that whatsoever. That's a fantastic situation. Let's grab the tractor here. We'll go get... I guess I shouldn't even put the drill over there, but I did anyway. And go put it underneath our shed. Now, what we need to do in the next episode is make another field. And in that field, we need to put oat in that field. The reason why we need to put oat is because that is what Jester requires. He needs oat for food. He also could use some other things, which we can get. He needs some, like, hay, I think. So we probably need to get, some grass mowed up again and get a tedder of some sort so we can turn it into hay. That way he has some hay as well. But I think the main thing he needs to be in good health is oat. So I don't want to have to buy more bags of oat. We might have to buy 1 more. Actually, we probably will have to buy 1 more for him between now and by the time the oat is ready to harvest. But we need to at least get some oat going in a field somewhere. So we've got that prepped and ready to go for that. Well, the good thing is once we get probably 1 decent-sized field with oat in it and we harvest it, we can put it all into our silo, our Pioneer silo over here. And then we can put wheat or something else back in there, right? Barley, whatever else we decide to do. Because for the chickens, we're going to need either to take some of that wheat, which we probably will do, so then we can get the chickens going. And then, we can utilize anything else, sorghum, barley, whatever else, right? We can utilize that for the chickens here. So with that, gang, we're going to leave the episode there. Hope you all enjoyed it. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe button if you're new. It's free. It helps me out a ton. If you have any thoughts, questions, comments, or ideas... his health is 0. Is it because I didn't write them today? Wait, if I haven't wrote them yet, hold on a second. Let me go write them. It's just the effectiveness. He needs hay and root crops. We have 5% root crops, so we're gonna need to make a tiny little root crop field too. Let's write them. Brushed him. We'll write them for the end of the episode. But hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. It's free, helps me a ton. Farm's coming together. That is a huge, huge shed when you get down here, but I think it's worth it. That's definitely something we needed. Now, the next shed being put in can be something a little bit smaller, right? But I like it. I like it. Farm's coming together, slowly but surely here, gang. Got some ideas on other little tracks I'm going to put in. Some other productions, or maybe the cows we put somewhere else, right? We don't put them as close to the farm here, like we talked about. We'll see, though. We'll see what we come up with. I've got to do some research and find something smaller for cows. I don't want to do 300, 400, 500 cows. We're not going to be able to keep up with that more than likely, at least not this early on. Maybe later on when we start the second farm, because you know there's another stage where we have to start a second farm on a new plot of land. Maybe when that occurs, maybe we will. But for now, we'll leave the episode there. Again, thank you so very much for watching. I cannot thank all of you enough. I appreciate each and every single one of you. And until next time, I'll catch each and every single one of you in the next episode.